Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and then I'm all set.
I think we've already started, Mike.
We're definitely live.
Okay.
Just fix it in post.
I rated the second I got the second I got you're live, I rated and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go.
I told you can't go with that though.
I'm good. How are you, Cody?
That's great.
It's been a week, man. We had our last raid of the expansion officially for the gold team, and we were doing some beta keys. I was doing them with Cardiac and Creation last night. I couldn't get into my mage for some reason on beta anymore, so I had to make a new one, which was fine anyway because I wanted to test the Venthyr. So we're doing that, and we have a 10 ready to go for tonight. So we're gonna try the new 10 seasonal. Yeah, Prideful. So it should be fun. And that's about it. It's a redemption night, dude. I was missing the mage last night. It's a big difference not having one.
My week's been hell. Just leave it at that. It's been bad. It's just we're going there. I haven't done shit for anything because it's just been fucking disaster week.
My week's been pretty good. I got a little sick over the start of the week, but other than that, I've been playing beta and I've been having fun so far.
Is that like a midnight launch, or when is that going live? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Nice, dude. Nice. Your everything is borked.
Hello? Okay, there we go. We're back. I don't know if it's a midnight launch. I have to look. They'll probably do the same thing that Blizzard does, to where they'll put out like, here's your global release times and when you'll be able to play it and whatever.
Okay, cool.
But whenever it actually does launch, I will be streaming at launch, and we'll be doing a nice long stream for it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go to Valhalla.
Yeah, it looks like a good one. I like thematically. It's probably one of the ones that appeals most to me, at least. I might even pick it up when it goes on sale.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
And they have some really cool systems they added in, like, just real quick, and then we'll jump into WoW stuff. But I was telling Mike this when he was in my stream the other night, is they added in like the social stealth back end, where you can blend in with like crowds and move through a city and stuff. But they have another layer on top of that now, because it is Viking themed, and everyone knows Vikings like to drink. So you can actually blend in and avoid guards by buying everybody around at the bar or tavern that you're in, and then basically skipping out and not paying for it and starting like a bar fight.
Oh, I like that. That's
so
cool.
You can basically start like an uproar and then just slip out while the guards are dealing with that, which is going to be super cool. But they did say watch if you go back to that place again, though, because yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so excited to check it out, see everything. By the way, happy anniversary for WoW.
Oh yeah, 16 years.
16 years
Yay.
and going strong. Yay!
Holy shit.
So how much of a difference has it made on leveling speed?
I mean,
Has anyone
the guy.
leveled something?
I've leveled a little bit. I did see, so I didn't do the Dark Moon buff, which would have made a difference. It feels about the same to me without the Dark Moon buff, with that little anniversary buff on, but I haven't done too much. I know Mike's done a fair bit of it this week.
Yeah, I mean, I got my monk from, I think it was like 44 up to 50, and it went very quick.
Okay.
I mean, so you've got the revamped leveling as it is, and then you've got the 16% bonus and the Dark Moon Fire 10% bonus, and if you get the BFA experience potion, like that's a lot of bonus XP.
There's another
right
10 there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's even speedier than it was. So feels pretty good though.
I think the record got cut down from where it was like 6.5 hours down to like 4 hours and 11 minutes to go from whatever it is, 10 to 60 or 1 to 68.
Jeez.
Nice. Same
One to
guy,
50.
right? Mephisto?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's his thing, you know.
He's a machine.
He is.
Yeah, just seems like the time to be leveling.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. So not exactly the eve, but we're getting close. I mean, this is gonna be our last episode until after the second part of pre-patch next week. So what do you guys think? Is it gonna be worth the wait? Are we expecting, what are we expecting from it? Are we expecting it to be good? Are we expecting the worst? Are we expecting servers to be borked again? Like,
I mean, I think the big question that needs to be posed is it still going to be time gated?
true.
I haven't
Yeah.
been able to find any info on that specifically, like if what they're altering, if anything at all, to the reward system.
I'm concerned about being time gated, but I'm gonna be extremely happy just to log in to grief the shit out of Lobies and Elwyn Forest and turn them all into zombies because I'm just an ant.
Nice.
You're a monster, Steve.
What a monster.
You're
Yes.
one, Mr. Goes.
Yes, I am.
Is it gonna be worth it though? Probably not, because I mean they didn't delay it to make that event any better. They just delayed it for other reasons. So I mean, it's gonna be probably unchanged for the most part.
Yeah, I think like the first day it'll be like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how
the
pre-patch
zombies
is now.
start popping up, I'll probably be logging in less and less.
No, you're gonna be logging in more so you can grief with
Just
me.
one
dude.
of us, we're just gonna be going around Stormwind with our zombie armies, dude. Just
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't even really looked at like the cosmetic rewards and stuff that you're supposed to get. Is there anything like actually cool, good looking, or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, it's supposed to be great.
okay, yep, that's sarcasm. Yeah, so I'll have to look at it. I mean,
Look,
pre-patch,
you're
like,
not-
it's a pre-patch set.
I
you
know, but some pre-patch sets have actually looked really good. Like, I guess what I'm thinking of is basically, what was it, the Purple Judgment looking set? Wasn't that a pre-patch set?
Oh,
No, the BC one, that was just there was a bunch of off-colored sets you could get in BC dungeons. That wasn't
Okay.
But that is a nice set. You're right. That is a really good.
I thought that was a pre-patch set for some reason. But
if you
I
like
mean,
that one, have you seen the island one that they redid? It's
I did
blue
not.
instead of purple. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fan of just the old
It's the
school
Fireland
Judgment,
set,
but
though. It's not the Judgment.
oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I may not even touch it on the first day because, again, Assassin's Creed launches on the same day, and hey.
so I mean
we'll see.
the one thing I can say is if you're looking to catch up your character, that's gonna be the way you do it. Like outside of trying to get into raids and that kind of shit, it's gonna be really easy to get up to 100 eye level and just do everything that you need to do. So
I mean, is that what the gear squished down to? Was
100? Yeah.
100?
So it's basically going to be better than normal, but not heroic level gear,
Okay.
which isn't awful. You know, like that.
Yeah, that's not
That'll
bad.
get you into your low level mythic pluses without any kind of fucking headache or hassle.
For sure.
Plus, I think I want to say starter greens in quests and Bastion give you 85 to 90. So, I mean,
Okay.
that is still higher technically than the starter
Yeah.
bash and stuff.
So I mean, you'll still get a little ways in before you start really replacing stuff. So, any other thoughts on what's coming in pre-patch? Just, do we think the servers are going to be worked again like they were last pre-patch, or do we think it's just going to be?
I 100% expect things to break.
Maintenance extended twice.
First week,
Yeah,
expect
probably.
the first few days to be probably borked, probably get that black screen again, you know. But if they fix it as quickly as they did at the start of this pre-patch, then that'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like to me, it's just them basically turning on a switch, right? Instead of doing the whole big level squish thing. But I mean, we'll have to see.
That's all it basically is going to be, is them flipping a switch. I mean, you saw it last week with the Nathanos oops. And how Nathanos just showed up out of nowhere. That's basically what it's just supposed to be, is just flip a switch and go.
Alright. So let's get to the first big topic of discussion tonight. And that is, with the news that came out, was it yesterday or 2 days ago now?
Tuesday. So whatever Tuesday.
RIP multi-boxing.
Yay.
Sort of.
Sorta, kinda.
Oh, it's dead.
It's pretty much dead.
It's pretty big dead.
Mm-hmm.
They've corrected the issue that they were going for correcting. You could still do it. Hey, more power to you. If you still enjoy it and you like to do it non-automated, go for it, right?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is you can still do it not automated, but the whole purpose of really multi-boxing was to be able to do everything just automated across.
Yeah.
One
you know,
thing. Now you just have to switch windows and.
Yeah, people could still farm with it. I know a lot of like gold makers too. They'd park their one toon at the auction house and then go farm or whatever with the other one.
It just makes them work for it a little bit more now, which they should. You know.
Yeah.
If you're juggling multiple accounts, you should have some more work to do.
I mean, and the big thing too is like I can definitely see it cutting down on bots for sure.
That's the big one, right? That's what they're going for with this.
That's the big target right there, was bots.
Yeah, because the freaking multi-boxing 10 druids at once and immediately mass picking one flower kind of ruined a lot of markets.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, not really. It was kind of dumb.
Do we look to have a better economy now in this expansion because of this, or do you think the bots are just going to find a way around it again?
I mean, you're always going to have a better economy when the
obviously when the expansion launches, but
and if they don't do something stupid like give you a flask creation tool in the open world that lets you proc up to 20 flasks by picking it up on a 2-minute respawn, that should kind of alleviate some of that, and the economy should stay a little bit better for a little bit longer.
You mean you're talking about the random cauldrons that they added into this expansion that you could just fly around and pick up? Yeah,
and you could get full-fledged 2-proc full cauldrons. Yeah, those were...
Spent a lot of hours doing that.
Yeah, a lot of hours.
Just sitting there watching Netflix while waiting for it to respawn. Wait, what?
But yeah, like it really did just absolutely kill the economy on that. So
yeah, I mean, even like the non-bots, like they're still like, I know players would go around multi-box and pick thousands of herbs at a time and then post them all to the auction house. So a lot less of that's going to be driven into the economy.
I mean, here's the thing: at the end of the day, there's a really easy ways around it, right? Like, unless they're gonna ban the person on site for when it happens, unless they're gonna like somebody actually looking at it, right? Because think about it, they go through and they pick everything. They can just mail it to a secondary account that's
True.
not part of the multi-boxing, and then sell it all, and then guess what? Just immediately start doing it all over again, kind of deal.
True.
Like, if you make enough gold off the rip, I mean, that's not going to matter if they ban your account or not, because it'll all be going to an offset secondary thing.
It'll be going to an offshore account. Huh.
I wonder if Classic wasn't a big motivator in this change too, because it was almost an even bigger issue on Classic. The way that game, the way that game is set up, and everyone farming for the new raid that's coming out. You know, you had to farm nature resist gear for AQ. I think it's frost resist gear for next now, and other consumables just to get in the raid, potions, everything. And from the players that stuck around after we left, it just sounded like it was too little too late. Like, it's not going to fix Classic's economy right now. It's just too far gone. But I can see this maybe for BC, if they do that in the future, it's a good change for that.
Very true.
Yeah, I didn't even thought about the implications on Classic.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, farming Crypt Fiend parts for Nax rep, doing
Black Lotus or the Lotus.
Black Lotus, yeah. I mean,
not to mention just materials for just consumables that you need.
And stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, talking about like the profession thing, do we think we're gonna see another specialized profession tool like we got later in this expansion come into play again in BFA, like the Orb of Transmutation for alchemists and that kind of stuff?
Honestly, I hope not, because I mean, you really only use the Orb of Transmutation for one thing and one thing alone. Like, you just get prosperity and that's it.
Right.
If you just never look at it for another hour.
True.
And I mean, at a certain point, the tailoring one was what? Just simply ripping cloth out of an ether?
Yeah, you got cloth, and you would have a chance to get a rare vendor, and you could get like rare patterns you could buy with cloth and things.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think it's worth it. But
I think it was a cool idea in concept, like giving professions special things. It makes it more, I don't know, unique. So if they can figure out a way where it's not like, oh well, it didn't proc on this specific thing, so I'm just gonna, like, it's trash, I'm just gonna ignore it, then maybe.
I don't think it should be something that's like as powerful as those cauldrons in the world were. Like, that was ridiculous.
That was dumb.
I don't have any problem with them doing things like this, especially when they release it. If I remember right, they didn't release it during a super busy time, so it was like something to do.
No, it was a 0.5. That was a 0.5 update. I think it was like 2.5 maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, I had fun doing it.
It was before Eternal Palace, right? Because it was when we got the second tier of all the new potions and everything.
Yeah, it was around that. Yeah, because I remember thinking to myself, wow, I don't even see any in Nashatar. Like, there's no cauldrons. There were some once in a blue moon, I think, on Mechagon, if I remember right. But
yeah, they would drop.
They'll probably try it again, right?
I mean, I feel like they'd have to try it again.
That's been one of the complaints from people, is like the profession systems aren't as deep as they'd like them to be.
Yeah,
that's certainly one way you could fix it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with the stuff with the legendaries too, that will keep professions more relevant coming Shadowlands.
Yeah, I hope so. From my time playing Classic, that was actually one of the fun things, was just how player driven the economy is, and just everyone works together. It's really cool, and I missed that on retail this expansion.
All right, so Death of Multi-Boxing, kind of, sort of, for the most part. Touch on some WoW news that came out this week. So we have a new lead encounter designer for WoW, Matt Villers, who came from Heroes of the Storm.
I mean,
are we concerned? Are we thinking it's going to be good? What are our thoughts on this?
It's good to bring a fresh pair of eyes. I don't really know much about him, so I don't I don't really know.
I mean, I think it kind of leans into what we were talking about last week, where it's kind of the changing of the guard. You
Mhm.
know, they're out with the old, in with the new kind of deal. Whether it's being forced out or they're making the changes for the betterment. The next one, I kind of think they made the change for the betterment of the game.
Yeah, the
The
next
encounter
one I think is
designer.
the big one. Now, I mean, the encounter designer I think is interesting because I'm very curious because we'll get into this later, but we have raid testing coming up tomorrow, actually. So I'm curious to see if there are going to be any changes made to these encounters that they're testing tomorrow now that he's the encounter designer. So
I would think so, because I actually really enjoyed Heroes of the Storm, and I remember Matt from when I was playing it. He was responsible for basically designing new heroes
okay.
and their abilities and their toolkits. And from what people said about him, coworkers that are still there
Mhm.
and some that have left, he always made sure everyone was on the same page as far as what the hero's design goal was, so that you didn't have a mess, and different people doing different things. And
Okay.
apparently he was very good at that. So
Cool.
if he's designing raid encounters, yeah, let's see what he can do.
So when we get to the raid segment later, we can talk more about that and
Sure.
possibly throw out some ideas on stuff.
The thing is, I think it's just too late for him to make any kind of meaningful, impactful changes to some of these fights
Right,
now.
yeah, for this first tier, yeah.
Yeah.
I think whatever this tier is locked into this tier, and you'll see some kind of either shifting dynamic to whatever the new tier is, or you will start to see actual change from whatever his influence is going to be.
Maybe this also means we'll actually get more dungeons and stuff throughout the expansion if he's coming in. Like,
yeah,
possibly.
definitely.
Like I just remember like back in Wrath when you got Ice Crown, you got those 3 new big dungeons that came out with Ice Crown, and it was like, man, and those dungeons were great. Like,
yeah.
You can't even name those dungeons.
And by the way, he has been there since 2009, so he's not like a brand new employee.
Oh
or
no,
anything
yeah,
like that.
he's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And I can name those dungeons. Thank you very much.
Go for it. Do it.
Let's do it.
Halls of Reflection, Pit of Saran, and
okay, time's up because now you're just googling.
I don't remember the last one.
It's Forge of Souls.
Forge of Souls. Okay, see, I knew him. All right. David Kim is the new principal game designer, and he's coming from the Diablo 4 team, and I think he was the lead game design on Diablo 4, if I remember right. At BlizzCon, he was the one that did the main panel and like the main announcement for it.
Yep.
So either they're in a really good spot on Diablo 4, or they have no faith in it and they feel like WoW is their trap.
And I have the answer to that because obviously I'm following Diablo 4.
You remember who they brought in, right? Yeah.
Yes. So they are in a good spot on Diablo 4 because of who they brought in. They have brought in, so the lead game design now is a former member of CD Projekt Red who worked on The Witcher.
Yep.
And underneath of him is 2 more people that he worked with from CD Projekt Red who also worked on The Witcher. And I think he was almost lead game design for Witcher, and the other 2 were like narrative and basically quest design type stuff. So
yeah, and he's one of those. He comes in and he gets things moving quickly.
Yes. So I think Diablo 4 is in a good spot. I think this is also going to be very good for WoW.
Yeah, he seemed like from what he unveiled to us at the BlizzCon and listening to the interview on the panel. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. He's a former player. And so a lot of the stuff that he was talking about, his systems, like the mounted combat, the talent trees, the world bosses, the new approach to legendaries, they all sounded really good on paper. They just kind of lacked a little bit of the polish and flair. And then since they brought in the new guy, I mean, it does appear that things are rolling faster, and he's improved on a lot of the things that Daniel already had laid down. So
here's my hope of one thing that he can really bring to this is hopefully with him being the principal game designer, they can get back to actually having communication with the player base and listening to feedback. Because that was one thing that I do remember that he said at BlizzCon when they announced Diablo 4, was that they wanted feedback from players. They were actually going to communicate with their player base on a like normal basis and actually listen to feedback. And you have seen that with the changes that have been made to that game already.
Yeah, that's great news. That's great news. Don't lose faith in it. Like, just listen to the community. They're not always right, but they oftentimes know what they want, right? They're the people playing the games.
All you got to do is find a common ground, right? Like,
yep, we would have definitely. I think the player base would have bought another Diablo expansion. The company didn't have faith that they needed another one, but I think they could have done another one. So hopefully, with him there, things will be better.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see, like, just these two people have me very interested to see how this expansion actually moves forward now. Like, how we see stuff develop as it goes on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is like, I don't think you'll see an immediate impact from these guys right now. I think you'll start seeing like a 0.5 patch, like a 2.5 or a 2. Like, you'll start seeing the way things are directing. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. With the guy that they moved to principal game, he may be the one that finally just goes, yeah, it may be time to pull it, and pulls the cord.
Yeah.
Because if he is the guy that everyone says he is, which is he's very big on community feedback, he's very big on everything in the community.
Which he is.
If he sees all of the pull the ripcord, this is why this is a bad system, this is why this is a terrible idea, he may be the one that goes,
so
time to go, let's fix it.
Now, he's principal game designer. What is Ian? Like, is he under Ian, or is he taking over Ian's position?
I mean, Ian is High Overlord. All hail the Goblin King.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. He's got a weird fucking title.
So so he's probably, I would say he's probably second in command from like what the title sounds like. So it would probably be like Ian and then him making kind of like the overarching decisions is the sense that I would get from it, I guess. But yeah, hopefully he can bring a voice to say, you know, like, this shit needs to change and finally get them to pull the ripcord and stuff. But I think you're right, Steve, that you're going to start to see little glimpses of it probably in like 0.5, and then you'll see the big glimpses in whatever like the major content patch, like 1.0 or 2.0 or whatever they decide to call it is.
Sorry, real quick, what was the guy's title? It's principal what?
Principal game designer. I think Ian is game director.
He's game director, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm just trying to see if there's a.
He was a
higher
game designer for HOTS.
We're talking about David Kim, the one that came from Diablo 4.
David, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out where he fits into the hierarchy of like development for WoW. Like,
I mean, it honestly looks like possibly young Eon may answer to him.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty high.
Possibly.
Oh, if that's the case, that gives me a lot of hope for this expansion. Then, if he ends up having the end all be all, like, this is the decision that we're gonna make going forward for this.
I need a minute. My wife is having issues with medication.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, that gives me a lot of hope there.
It's vague enough to where you're left to wonder what he's going to be doing exactly, but the title has enough seniority in it to make you go,
Exactly. At least it is one of those titles to where it's not like narrative director, right? Like it has that overarching, we're kind of overseeing all the teams type thing, helping kind of manage everything. So that definitely gives me hope.
Yeah, he's been with StarCraft and HOTS as well. He seems like the guy that they bring in to get the groundwork going for the new projects. So they obviously have a lot of trust in him to promote him to this game, and he's definitely earned it.
For sure. And I mean, what is Discord doing? Holy moly! And I mean, especially if like he is coming from the initial even class design and stuff that we saw when they announced Diablo, gives me a lot of hope for future class design and stuff going forward with the game.
How good did Druid look like in the gameplay? Just all of them looked great.
Yeah, all of them look great. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk beta changes. The small amount that we had. First, let's touch on this, which is world BOEs, and the big one I think is this trinket.
Yeah. I was a little confused when I saw that they're adding a ton of world BOEs. I was a little confused because I thought we weren't doing that.
I think we're not adding a raid BOE.
Right.
Yeah, I think raid BOEs, but world BOEs is fine.
I mean, here's the thing. World BOEs at 213 is fine. I think having BOEs at 232, I mean, I think that's what they're trying to cut back on, is having the BOE scale as high as what they are right now. That's what I think they're going for.
I just remember in BFA they had, it was when I was playing my mage, it was a BOE that you could farm, but it was like a lower item level, but it was so much better than any other trinket. And I just don't want another situation like that.
Here's the thing, is like, from the looks of this, and I really hate to put it this way, that 20% reduction on your ability, on your Covenant ability, could turn this into another Arcano Crystal from Legion.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I'm nervous. Some classes they aren't pressing their Covenant ability, but for those that it's really big for, like, this could be like something they use the entire expansion.
But like 20%, I'm just going from the dungeons we did last night. 20% reduction on Divine Toll for prop pallies. Like,
yeah, that's nuts. Just to give you math, because I think Divine Toll is a 2-minute CD, right?
It's 1 minute. So
at least
Divine Toll is not 1 minute. There's no way.
It is. It's on a 1 minute CD.
For Holy Paladin, it definitely is.
Yeah, Prot 2.
So that takes 12 seconds off.
Yeah, 20% right there takes 12 seconds off. So you're looking at basically a 45-second CD.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Why do this to yourselves? Like, this seems like it could create way more problems than anything else.
Just like Mike said, like, if it stays like this is something you'll use the entire expansion. Like, you'll never get rid of this trinket.
And it may change what covenant you go with, and then how do you combat the balancing of covenants when we're live with a trinket like this? I would think it makes it even more difficult because you have to account for it.
Just keep nerfing them.
The only thing I can think of is it's sort of similar, I guess, to Vision of Perfection in a way, like sorta.
Sorta, yeah.
Maybe that being so popular of a essence, they're kind of trying to bring that back a little bit.
Possible.
But I mean, if they wanted to do that, they should just have it be like, have a random chance to activate your Covenant ability.
Or they could have made it into a legendary too, or something like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could have made it into like a general legendary for just like one of your general class legendaries that everyone can have.
I'm gonna be honest. That trinket, first one that drops on the server, if it's as good as everyone is thinking it's gonna be,
you're fucking rich.
You're talking 3 million gold easy.
Oh yeah,
for that trinket.
You're set for the rest of the expansion then.
Oh my goodness!
Like
versus, I'm looking at the rest of these, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, all those obviously they're good. They'll sell off the rip for probably $1 million.
Oh yeah.
The weapons may sell for a little bit higher.
That trinket though, that trinket's gonna hold value through the entire expansion.
Yeah, that trinket is literally going to be something that's good the entire time.
Yeah, unless they do something like it doesn't work past a certain tier or something. It's a game changer.
And then you look, it's one of those pieces too to where like if that drops the first week of the expansion and you get it, you sit there and you look at it, you're like, do I use it or do I sell it? Do I use it or do I sell it? Do I use it? Do I sell it?
I mean, here's the thing.
It's like it's so
I'm
much
selling
gold.
that if I get
Like,
that early. I don't care how good it is. I'm selling that thing.
I'm selling it, and then I'm putting it back. Whatever I get, I'm putting at least half it back into the guild to make sure we have mats for a raid and all that other shit. That's what I would do with it. Like, that is a big money item. And if I can sit there and be like, yeah, dude, all right, I'm going to drop $1.5 million gold to drop into the fucking guild bank and get us kicking.
Or
that's where I'm looking.
If that drops for you, would you look to give it to one of your major DPS going into raid?
No. And the reason I don't think so is and this is going to be like really strange to say, the way it kind of sits right now, we really don't know if DPS Covenant abilities are strong enough to warrant using that trinket.
True. Okay, I mean, what about healers then? I'm thinking Disc Priest Mind Games. One of your strongest healers? One of your strongest Covenant abilities on said strongest healer?
Nah, I would still sell it and put money back
and just set your guild for the expansion, basically.
I mean, it wouldn't be setting it for the expansion.
Not for the expansion, but for a good amount, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you sell that for $3 million, right? Let's just say $3 million is the highest that it'll go. Even if you sell it for $1 million, you take 500,000 of that million, drop it back in the guild bank, and then you're talking about getting the crafted pieces for all of your raiders or a handful of your raiders.
True.
And you can get those crafted pieces for the legendaries faster that way. And having those crafted pieces will make more of an increase across the board versus that
very
one
true.
trinket. So that's where my brain's at.
Yeah, sell it before it gets tuned down or nerfed or altered in any way. If you can get top dollar for it right out of the gate, that's what I would do.
Looking at you, echoing Void.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because here's the thing: you know, World's First Guilds are going to want that. Like they're going to want to take it
100%.
Exactly that reason you're saying is give it to the priest for mind games. But I'm looking at it as a bigger picture where we're a bit of a smaller guild. We don't have a tremendous bank built up.
Right.
But if I can sit there and drop, $500K in and be like, let's start cranking out some pieces. Let's start investing in the raid team to start getting some legendaries on people.
Yeah.
That will be a greater gain, a greater net gain than one person having the trinket.
Especially too, because we have 2 teams going now, so that could possibly set up both teams. Depending on how much it sells for.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole thing behind it is I think it's very much for me the needs of the many versus the needs of me or the needs of the other. Like
that makes sense.
Don't get me wrong. If there is like a weapon that drops, I'm probably gonna look to see, hey, is there someone that can really, really benefit from it? But I can tell you right now, if I look at it and I go, it may not be worth it to benefit that one person, I'm still probably going to sell BOEs just to try and get shit rolling for the guild.
And the answer for your weapon is tank, so they can hold aggro. Lol.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So, any other thoughts on Trinket? I don't really think any of the BOEs really stuck out besides that one. Like,
I wonder how much testing if they're even going to allow us to test it.
I don't think so, because I mean, unless it shows up on the vendor next week, but it's not on the vendor in beta right now. I looked last night and I did not see it.
I mean, the other thing that's kind of perplexing to me, right, is just the breakdown of how things are kind of panning out on the BOE front. Like, you could technically buy a full set of BOEs almost and get 213 item level right off the rip.
Could you really?
I mean, it's neck cloak, and then I mean, not really, but
I mean,
you
would
had
a 213 replace your heart and your legendary cloak?
100%. Those are only
Okay.
like one.
155, I think the cloak is maxed. I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these are all pretty big, but I mean, what I'm saying is like you're getting 3 to 4 pieces. Plate gets 4, mail gets 3, leather gets 3, cloth gets 3. Then you get weapon, then you get cloak, neck, 2 rings, and a trinket. So that's 1, 2, 3.
That's almost a full set
Let's
of gear. Yeah.
Let's say plate, you'll go 7, and then you get your weapon, and then cloak 8, 9, so 10. I mean, if you have enough cash, you could technically full strap 10 BOEs 213 right off the rip.
Okay. I'm sitting here laughing because heroic gear is 213, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, 213.
Here's
God,
your
I hope
answer.
someone does that.
Here, this right here. You're talking about World First Guild spending money on
Yep.
BOEs for this last raid tier.
Yep.
This is how they do split runs going into this first raid tier, is these BOEs, because they are equal to heroic item level.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like people are gonna pay for these, even the ones that you're like, man, these are really shitty stats. I doubt they're even looking at the stat prios of that one. They're literally just looking for
No,
the
they're
health.
they're looking at the health. They're looking for the item level.
Well, main
and talking,
stat is so much more important now too. For so many
yeah,
people.
and I mean, well, you got to think too. Early in the expansion, health plays a big deal too because you just don't have a ton.
Yep.
And
yeah, that's why I wasn't too happy on them adding these. It adds an RNG element and also a pay to win element at the top end of rating that I just don't think we need. I don't think we need it.
Nope. Like, make them world drops, but make them BOP. If
add
you
them
get
after
one,
the race is
congratulations.
over.
You know,
like add them in after the tier's been out for a while. I don't. It's just.
Well, when BFA launched, they had the BOEs for that too. I think they were like 350 item level. I don't remember what old year item level was.
I want to say they were
probably about the same.
I think they were about the same, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there was an Uldir BOE that looked like that trinket.
No, and
no.
And I don't think anyone can forget somebody actually did bring a BOE into our raid once. The mighty Tebow's blazing longsword.
Yep. I wonder why I'm not doing any damage.
Yeah, so maybe
God.
not quite as impactful as these might be. I don't know. Yep. We'll have to see.
Yep. And we're like, because you're using a transmog, it doesn't have any stats on it.
So here's the thing: there's just looking at the stuff, right? There's a shield that drops, 2-hander, 1-hander, 1-hander, 2-hander, crossbow, gun. It looks like they have every.
So there's something for everything.
There's something for everything. So I mean, I feel like there's no fucking way you're gonna be able to deck yourself out on that, right? Like, I don't think there's any chance.
No. Just your best chance would be you get lucky on some drops. Maybe you buy 1 or 2. Yeah, I don't think you want to be sinking that much money if you're not in a world first race.
No,
the world first race, you're gonna see them sink the money though. If nothing else, just for the item level.
Oh yeah.
Cut your camera's frozen. Refresh it.
I think it might be his OBS because Mike's is too, but their cameras are fine in the call.
I mean, my camera's fine on the thing, so I don't know. It's weird. I don't know, dude. Maybe they're just not moving. Smile.
I'm just a statue.
No, I already whispered both of them about it. Mike said he fixed his.
Yeah, I
reset.
I don't know. Hang on. Let me just restart the call. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, technical problems.
No, because yours is frozen too for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Discord's just acting really fucking weird tonight. Like, I don't know what's causing the issues with it.
Well, I'm unfroze on Steve's camera.
But
so it's still frozen on mine.
Yeah, hang on. keep talking while I fix this.
Oh, do. Oh wait,
How
copy.
about those Survivor
Yes.
Hunter changes?
We gotta quick think of a witty, catchy theme song that won't get us DMCA plugged. Okay, good job.
I can't think of one that I want to risk.
Oh. Hello? Okay, just gonna fix mics.
There you go.
Is mic unfrozen? No, mic is not
no,
unfrozen.
mic's still frozen, unfortunately.
It's very cold here.
Mike, can you move? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Got it.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know. Stuff's just acting really funky tonight, so I'm not sure what's causing it. But
Top tier broadcasting production.
right.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
All right.
Happens.
Yeah, so final thoughts on BOE stuff?
TBD.
TBD. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much of an impact it has. I'll be curious to see.
TBD based on drop rate.
Yeah, true. Very true.
If it's like the fucking Sahara looking for water, I mean, I'm okay with it. But if they are literally, you walk into a dungeon and you walk out with two of them, that could be an
True.
issue.
I mean, that'll make gearing up pretty easy, though.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. Like, if they're gonna have BOEs drop at this, like, they should equal out the gear from Mythic Plus to at least equal these BOEs, because what's the point at that? Like, if you're gonna get a BOE that gives you better gear than a 15.
But I mean, you get better gear out of your end week for the 15, though. So I mean,
Yeah, but still.
Right, but what's the difficulty of actually completing a 15 versus killing a mob in the world?
James, I'm gonna be honest. Have you seen me? Have you met me with my luck? Do you really
Your
think
luck's not that bad?
it could be a lot?
I mean,
better.
look,
It could be
at
better.
the
yeah.
end of the day, we all know that Boet's just gonna get rich off of these
No,
because
I think Ian is.
Ian is gonna get
Yeah,
rich.
Ian
off of
Ian
these.
is. Boet is gonna be rich regardless of what happens. But yeah, Ian is gonna get the fucking BOEs.
The 23rd comes, Shadowlands launches. The first mob Ian kills. Boom.
Yep.
Ian's getting a BOE within the first 24.
First quest turn in, epic upgrade, dude. Like,
Jesus. All right, let's move on. Let's talk some class changes here. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want to talk class changes, or do you want to talk Covenant changes first with what got changed?
I
doesn't matter
mean,
to me.
I think we can kind of fit them both in there because a
Okay.
lot of them kind of intertwine together. Waiting for my graphic to go up. Can you find the button?
It's up.
Oh,
It's up.
yeah.
I found it.
Sag monks. Look at those nerfed monks.
Most of that
What?
monk stuff was just
the monk stuff was baby stuff. The monk stuff was not big stuff at all.
yeah. It was mostly just like
Well, for Brew at least.
small things. The big
Hmm.
one, I think, the one it hurts was the either the Mistweaver or the Windwalker with the Weapons of Order nerf. That hurt a lot, I'd imagine, on one of those too.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Brew, it hurt, but not as bad as probably those two.
Yeah.
What's the strike? You're talking about strike with clarity?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That was a big nerf, big change at least. I don't know how big the nerf actually is gonna be, but it looks like a huge change. You go from 60 to 2.4.
Yeah,
the
like
max
that's
rank.
Yeah.
it just makes it not usable.
Right.
Arcane got a little bit of a nerf too, and then they're reworking capstones
They
on
are.
soulbinds, like the Kyrian capstone on
So
what?
Pelagos got nerfed.
Yeah.
But it's one of those nerfs that are going to affect certain classes way more than other classes. Because the 1% reduction, okay, that kind of sucks, but it's not like a huge thing, right? You're only losing like 5%, I think.
Yeah, off the top here, whatever.
Verse off the top. The big thing that affects certain classes is the 10 seconds that the stack stays up going down to 4.
Yeah, that was a big thing that caught my eye.
Yeah, because like some classes won't be able to keep those up for the 4 stacks now. And they're gonna have a lot harder time maintaining all 5 stacks of that buff.
Yeah. The Night Fae one, and then the Valiant Strike change too. Valiant Strike rework, I don't like. So
I can talk about this because I tried it last night.
Well, here's the thing: you're excited about it, but 90% of the community is already sure it's going to get nerfed because someone forgot to put an internal GCD on it.
I mean,
like,
that's the thing is it depends on if it was intentional that they left the ICD off of it, or if it was a whoops, we forgot to put this back on.
I don't think they forget something like that. I think that was just
this because who was it? I think it was. I don't remember if it was Sloot or Max today, but basically they were basically saying like maybe they're just trying to like rebalance certain things that wasn't getting a lot of play, but I mean this is dumb broken, like, and it's bugged right now on beta too because it's actually not healing your allies. It's bugged to where it's only healing you still. And
so, they're either gonna nerf the hell out of the procs per minute and add in a procs per minute internal GCD to it, or they're gonna absolutely gut the healing on it. Like, there's no way. It was an absolute mistake that it went live without an internal GCD. Like, that's just the only thing I can chalk it up to.
Like,
everyone agrees.
I mean, I think everyone agrees too. Like, because even Sloot was like, "Wait, there's no ICD on this," and he even tweeted at the devs about it. Like, "Hey, I think someone forgot to, put an ICD back on this, or did you? Like, is it meant to be this way?" Because
yeah, it is pretty broken right now. I was healing Cody and Keys, and it's like his second highest heal. It's disgusting.
It did as much healing as the beating Abomination Core in the dungeon I did on it last night. And if for some reason this does not get changed, it will make me play Brewmaster.
Oh yeah, it'll 100%
because
the tank meta.
Brew stacks it quicker than any other tank can because of rushing Jade Wind.
Yep, rushing Jade Wind. Not only that, but spinning crane too.
Crane kick.
The ability
so
to
you can get to those 40 stacks super quick.
Plus, does it take into account ticking damage? Because if you do the barrel smash, flame breath, rushing Jade Wind,
that I'm not sure.
Like if it's any crit that stacks it, right? Which
probably
crit, Brew is without a doubt the fastest one to get there, and Brew is now becoming a god, and Brew is on the table.
Like I say, I'm expecting it to get nerfed, but for right now, it is one of those beta things that it's on beta. It's fun to play with right now. And it's one of those things that, you probably won't get to play if you're not on beta. But hey, right now, it's super fun.
Who knows, man? You're running out of time, right? To be altering stuff like they are. So I think, we got another maybe 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, Rogue's got conduit changes this week. Warlock's got Shadow Bolt damage buffs. Like,
well, going back to Rogue, the Shiv one is...
The Shiv is big, if that's...
Yeah, what is that? Like, that is... They increased it from basically Shiv increasing your nature damage done to the target by 20% for 9 seconds They changed that to until canceled. So
What?
something that you used to have to keep up every 9 seconds by shivving, they changed to nope, you just shiv and it's up there till it's canceled.
But how do you cancel something like that?
Target dies.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a weird one to me. I guess maybe the
Unless
gameplay wasn't.
they're letting Boomkins double dip with a rogue.
Maybe.
And it's going to be a group buff to where you
True.
can shiv and then druids can just fucking go ham.
That's so odd though. Then they'll double dip with the demon hunter and the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
but most of druids' damage is arcane, no? So that wouldn't even matter. Their Star Surge is arcane. Their Starfall's arcane.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it would boost their Wrath and their Dot.
Yeah, it would boost Wrath and Moonfire.
Sunfire, I think, right? Or is it?
Yeah,
I think
Sunfire.
Moonfire's arcane too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
odd. It would boost. You know what it would boost though is
Shaman.
Ellie Shaman. Yeah. That would be a huge boost for
I
them.
don't think it would be enough love for Ellie Shaman though, because Ellie Shaman's just in a rough spot right now.
I mean, even that, it's double dipping kind of deal. It's just...
So that's one to at least keep an eye on.
All
We
right.
can skip over the pink name there. Frost Mages got a little bit of buff to
So-
their icicle stuff.
Okay. It's not even.
Okay, Mike. What? How's your buff to Holy Pallies? They're slowly giving you like little things each week.
Yeah, it's so basically before you never casted Lighted On ever on beta because it's not worth. So the little number tuning is nice. I don't know if we might end up using it now, which is nice in AoE situations because it is an AoE heal. I don't know if it's quite enough though. We'll see.
Also, I need you to tell everybody that's watching how your mana issues are on beta playing Holy Pally.
Oh boy. Okay, well, so in BFA currently I have around 30% haste. In beta I have 11%, which is a heck of a lot less. So I was noticing last night when we were running beta keys, I'm like, hey, I'm not having as much mana issues, but I'm also not able to pump out spells as fast. So I think that
those dungeons hurt.
Wait. So what you're telling me is less DPS equals less mana usage?
It wasn't necessarily less.
Whoa.
It was I was also having to commit a lot of CDs to healing. I would say that as well. We were taking a lot of damage, especially in the 8s that we did.
Yeah.
But basically, the Holy Paladin meta right now is basically almost like. Well, it depends on the build that you're playing, but like some of them are basically just AFKing and never pressing Crusader Strike, which doesn't really feel good when you're sitting there for 3 or 4 seconds not pressing any button or doing anything. It doesn't feel good. I will say that, but I'm happy that they gave some sort of love to Holy Paladin. They gave us a little bit of a tuning knob.
All right,
so we'll see where it goes.
I want James to touch on the Warlocks, since you were playing your Warlock last night.
Yeah, I was. Look, they're fine. Like, if you want me to just talk about them briefly, they're fine. They're fine. They're capable of doing a lot of damage. They're going to be great in raid. They're going to be really good in keys. It's just the play style out of the gate, especially when you don't have very much gear, is going to be rough. It's a lot of dotting. That's pretty much all it is dotting. And just doing some of the keys on Tyrannical, there's a lot of burst damage needed to kill ads quickly on certain fights. And I just don't know how you do that as an affliction. So, I mean, it was a little rough. But
all right,
I just missed the Frost Mage, basically.
My question for you
I'm excited for our redemption tonight.
Yeah.
Did you test enhancement at all after the changes went on or no?
Yeah, I mean, I tested it. They're okay. I mean, they nerfed their AoE with Hailstorm getting nerfed. That was unfortunate. Then they got a 15% damage increase to their nature abilities, which is pretty significant. So they actually came out of it with a couple nerfs, but overall being buffed.
Yeah, because they
it's
buffed their
just-
Fire Nova. No, I thought like their Fire
Yeah,
Nova
they-
or whatever got buffed.
they buffed that talent, I believe. They buffed their hidden aura multiplier, basically, of all their nature spells, some of their healing spells. So I mean, they're okay. Are they something I would recommend people to play? Probably not.
So while we're on the topic of that, what are your thoughts on Boomkin? Because you were also playing around with Boomkin last night.
Boomkin actually felt okay. It felt okay. It was more fun to play than Affliction.
Really?
Purely just my opinion. Oh yeah, yeah. Just had more going on. Affliction's
just need to do-
Affliction's easy. It's just dot. But Boomkin is a little bit of a you have to plan, so you have to pool your resources so that you dump during your buffed arcane window. So basically, when Starfire or whatever it's called is buffed, all your arcane damage is increased. So that's when you pump out your Star Surges. So that you can plan it. There's not much RNG to it.
Oh, I forgot they moved you back to an Eclipse window with Boomkin.
Right.
Yeah.
And they the legendary you use, I believe, is the Arcane Pulsar one.
Yep.
Which, if you played Boomkin and BFA, that's nothing new to you. You know what that is. That was a Azerite armor talent.
Can you count to 9 and then do damage?
You just get a little weak aura that
Yeah.
tells you basically what you're at.
All right, so I
But
want
they
to
felt good.
I want to come back to Boomkin later when we talk about just the state of beta on things, to talk specifically about like the Covenant stuff, because we had some discussions while we were running keys last night. We talked about the buff to Rogue. Marks Hunter got some big buffs
Oh yeah, the marksman hunters are happy, aren't they?
until next week.
Until next week when they're
The rich get richer, right? They're just already really good in Mythic Plus, and they just got a lot better. A lot better.
Do you see? All right, as someone who's played Hunter, do you see that it's weird that they gave the focus regen to Marks rather than also tying something like that to Bestial Wrath and giving it to BM also?
Maybe. I mean, BM doesn't have the focus issues quite as heavily as Marksman does. You do when you AoE, but I mean, you're not supposed to be really spamming multi-shot anyway. You just do it at every 4 seconds, just enough to keep Bestial Wrath up. So they don't have it as bad as Marksman.
Yeah, but what I'm because again, I only played BM for a short period of time. Is it still in play to where it's Cobra Shot to reset?
It still does that. Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like if there's ever a point where you're not having enough focus to get that extra Cobra Shot or whatever out to get that kill command back up. I don't know.
Would it help them if they gave them more? Yeah, it would help them, sure. But Marksman needed it a lot more.
Yeah, I know Marksman needed it. Marksman was in rough shape without it.
Yeah. We'll see if it stays. I don't know. I think you might see it halved, maybe. Cut it down to 25% more. It would still be a buff.
I think it's one of those ones that's going to stay, and it's simply just a QL change for them at that point. Yeah, because I mean, if it makes everything kind of run smoother during that window, to where you're not just kind of auto attacking during a big CD pop,
right?
Yeah, I think that would be smart.
I think the major one in the untouched category this week is still they did absolutely shit to Warriors.
Yeah.
Like
untouched again, man.
Absolutely nothing. Just
do you think we'll see? Do you think we'll see them changing and tuning once they realize? I mean, if they haven't realized already how bad they are, like, do you think they're going to start tuning, like doing class tuning in the middle of launch?
We know that they'll do it the first week. They're going to look at it the first week. Outside of that,
you'll probably get that first week thing from the initial like dungeon runs, and then you're probably going to get that typical they'll look at data after normal and heroic raid week, because you always get like a small tuning patch before the mythic raid comes out. And then other than that, that's probably it for a while.
It just feels like they're not targeting things that need to be tuned, and they're running out of time. It's
Prop
interesting.
Warriors, hello? Warriors as just a whole, like...
Warriors in general is an issue. Like, it feels bad. It honestly does feel bad that I was so excited to play Warrior, like when everything was dropping and all the changes were coming out for Warrior, but it's like they're just unplayable. Sucks.
Yeah, I mean, all hope is not yet lost. If they're planning a big change, they still have time to drop it, like probably next week. But if you don't see any changes next week, I don't know. It's gonna be rough.
It's not looking good.
All right, that's a good transition point into just the state of beta, because we've been saying for weeks now, oh, next week we're gonna see the big change for Shadowlands beta. We're gonna get all the big changes and the big patch and stuff like that we've been waiting for. It hasn't happened yet.
I don't think we're gonna get it.
We're at this point,
no, I agree.
I'm just expecting more small number tunings the next 2 weeks, and then launches here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get a big sweeping pass like everyone's wanting. I think things on the docket, tank threat, maybe might get touched. And I mean maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it needs a little bit of tuning, but I'll come back to this next week, because I was not playing with Frost Mages last night, but I wasn't having a ton of threat issues last night in dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, the question is, how many people spiked to like 12k DPS just right off the rip of a pull?
Not many. Like I say, I wasn't playing with Frost Mages, so
you also had 2 hunters that were coordinating.
I also had 2 hunters. So we'll see how tonight goes.
But does it require that though? Like, should it?
It shouldn't, but
come on, man.
You're gonna want to. I hate to say, you're gonna want either a hunter or a rogue in every single key, just for that reason.
Look, the only time I had threat issues really last night is when I fat fingered Bop because my keybinds were messed up. So.
Nice not one time. I couldn't figure out why I kept getting meleeed and killed by the boss. And then finally, one of the times I was just taking a dirt nap, I see he bopped himself. And I'm like, dude, that's why.
Yeah, I was moving around keybinds, and I was trying something different with my keybinds. And I had like the blessings on like basically alt. I had like consumables and stuff on like alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like blessings, potion, like that kind of stuff. However, alt is also my push to talk key. So in the middle of a fight, when I'm pushing to communicate, I'm already doing my normal rotation. I hit alt, I hit 3, that was bop, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, you may have to do what I did with Lust and just take it off of a keybind.
That's what I did once I fixed it, once I realized I was continuously doing it, but...
I mean, back to the question that was asked. I don't think you'll see a big change coming out anymore. Like I think the time for that is gone. Like they said, I'm pretty sure these last few weeks were meant for small polishing and small tuning. Like I said, I think you might see them touch tank threat. Honestly, a 20% boost, a 20% hidden threat mod would be perfect. That's all they need. 20%. Throw me a 20% fucking bone.
Here's the thing, too. I think they're just not documenting some of the stuff they're doing, because some of the dungeons we did last night felt like they've been tuned without things being actually put in patch notes. Just on the back end, damage and stuff felt smoother in some dungeons.
I mean, that's possible, too. Like, if they're doing that, and I mean, because here's the thing, damage and number tunings in dungeons normally don't make it into like preambles and data mine builds and all that kind of shit. So that's just simply going through and comparing last week to this week.
So, which, I mean, what was your take on it, James? Because Did they feel like some stuff had been tuned in dungeons, do you think?
Yeah, it did feel. Yeah. Now, I wonder if that's also because the last time we did them, they were fortified. And this time
possible.
it was tyrannical.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely felt it on bosses though. Like you felt it. Like
yeah.
the trash was so much easier, but we've never had trouble with bosses. There was one we couldn't even get past.
I mean, here's the thing though, is like that's to be expected, so I still feel like even some of the bosses have probably been tuned though, because I feel like some bosses hit a lot harder even on, I guess like what you were saying is because we ran Spires last night on a 7 on Tyrannical. I think Steve, you were in there the week that you guys did it on like a 9 Tyrannical.
Yeah.
Last boss on Spires, when the orb was hitting, even when you were in the bubble and it was chunking people for like 3/4 of their health or whatever.
Oh, I just bubbled it. I immuned it because fuck all them.
So now, granted, we were only on a 7, so it's still a difference of 2 key levels, but the damage seemed a lot more manageable, even on like the orb exploding last time on Tyrannical on that boss. Like we one-shot that boss. So
yeah, the one where you have to soak orbs, and then it mitigates the damage she does. That one I feel like might have been tuned down a little bit, because on fortified weeks, a couple times she got my health real low. And this was tyrannical, and I only got like 2 orbs on one of the phases, and I was fine. So it's possible that they did.
I mean, it would make sense that they are.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Sense.
I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, these dungeons are going to suck with keys no matter what week it is, because some of these bosses majorly suck with tyrannical. And I think every dungeon, the trash in some of these dungeons are just absolutely horrible.
It's just trash that you have to get
it's
down
just
quickly.
Hard. It's just a very hard
to burst
pulls.
it down, and not every class is equipped to do that. And I just wish they wouldn't design boss encounters like that as much, because then you do get tyrannical, and I realize it doesn't affect the minions anymore as much, but it's still a hassle as an affliction warlock trying to deal with that.
Now, I know we're saying that bosses were a lot harder with tyrannical and stuff too, but I am definitely interested to see how different tyrannical feels tonight when we have Prideful to play around.
Yeah, that'll be
to see exactly how much of a difference is that actually going to make. So
it'll be interesting to see for sure.
All right, so I know Steve had to step away again. He's dealing with some stuff. So let's just, James, what do you want to see in the coming weeks? We got 2 weeks left before 2 weeks, yeah? Because I think we only have 2 more beta builds that would go out before live, right?
Right. Yeah.
What are you hoping to see?
I'd like a little bit of communication. Maybe just let us know when we can expect them to stop sending the updates, so that we can actually, the people who haven't picked a main yet, can actually look at the classes as they're going to be at launch, because they're still making so many changes that we don't know. We have a good idea what's going to be good, but we don't know
I honestly think you're not really going to decide until the weekend before.
Yeah. I just wish we'd get a little bit of communication on what they're planning to do in the next, because there's only 2 weeks left, right?
It'd be nice. It'd absolutely
some sort
be nice.
of direction.
Yeah, I personally I think they're going to keep changing up until like the week of launch. I think they're going to keep trying to cram stuff in last minute.
I will say this: they put that news thing out yesterday that they are looking for more Torghast testing.
They did,
and so that was communication, but I just think in the wrong direction. I don't know how much how important Torghast is going to be, as far as, do we really want to put time into that 2 weeks that we have left? Yeah, I would rather them focus that on other areas.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, also Rep Pallies probably do need a nerf, because I've heard they are absolutely just shitting all over things now.
Are they really? Okay, I'll roll Rep Pally.
Oh yeah, even Max today said so like I guess they buffed rep pallies yesterday, and they basically
No, not
just,
yesterday. Last week.
last week. Apparently they got something neat this week, but
So what are they strong at? Like AoE, single
apparently
target, what is-
everything. Just across the board, rep pallies are really strong right now.
They're gonna be useful. Bop's gonna be very useful in the raid too on certain
Mhm.
fights. So not a bad thing to have paladins that can do that.
I mean, if we're talking about why they're focusing on Torghast, I'm gonna be honest. It's because of the changes they made last week with the Soul Ash.
Makes sense.
And what they're wanting to make sure is they're trying to make sure that the time investment matches the reward, especially for those later levels,
tiers.
right?
That makes
Because
sense.
the last thing they want to do is make like, okay, well, you just don't have to do 6, 7, or 8 because it only gives you like 16 more soul essences or something like.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a major thing. I feel like they kind of waited too long to. I think you should have done this when more people were still playing beta and testing. Like it just seems for such an important change. Like I don't know, it's kind of too.
I mean,
too late.
maybe this was their kind of call to arms, if you'd say, to kind of get people back on beta and retesting things in the last couple weeks. It's like, hey, we really need as many people to get on and test Torghast as possible. You're already on. You already have a group doing Torghast. Hey, let's go run some keys. You know, like that kind of type of thing. So,
yeah, I think it's a good thing that they kind of put out that kind of SOS of let's kind of get this focus down a little bit. But
yeah, my thing I was saying, Steve, was that I wish they would communicate more. So that's why I brought the Torghast thing up. That they were in fact doing that. So that's a good start.
Yeah, I mean that's the info we need to know. What they're looking at.
That's exactly the stuff that we need to
You
know.
tell us what we need to test. Yeah, as long as it, it's not pet battles or something silly like that.
right.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm sorry that I'm late on this conversation. I'm probably throwing everything off.
You're good.
But I mean, I wish they would do something like, hey, like they do for raid testing, right? Where they come out and they go, this is your raid testing hours between this and this. This is what we're testing. This is why we're testing it. I wish they would go in and do kind of the same thing of, we're going to do Torghast testing. We want any feedback on Torghast to come in on this day. And we will look at all of the Torghast stuff this day.
Which is what they did this time.
Right, that's what they did. And then I want them to do the same thing for like, okay, we want you to go run normal dungeons and we're going to scale all the normal dungeons down. All right, I want you to go scale heroic dungeon and do the heroic. Like, just give us like a week by week, day by day kind of thing to where we block out 2 or 3 hours a night. We go in and actually go and not just have some random, okay, we can just go test random things, but have a directive of, this is what we're testing. This is why we're testing it. This is what we're looking at. This is what needs to be tuned.
Yeah.
Like, if I guarantee you, if you sit there and you give everybody, okay, we want to test Mythic plus affixes during the hours of this time and this time on this day, and you reopen up that key vendor to where you can make your own keys, mix and match.
Even like a weekend thing, like, hey, this weekend we're going to be doing like heavy Mythic plus testing and look at all the feedback on like Monday. Activate that vendor to where you can mix and match your affixes on the keys and just let people go at it.
Because I guarantee you will see more people doing it that way. Same thing
absolutely.
with like just doing heroics, right? Or just doing heroics.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit there and go, all right, this is the weekend we're looking at just heroic dungeons, or this is the weekend that we're looking at world quests, or we're looking at the threads of fate, or we're looking at the XP. Like, if they give people something to be like, this is what we're looking at, this is what we want to test, I guarantee you'll see a much better feedback from the community to where they're putting effort in.
I think so.
I'd look forward to that a heck of a lot more than, oh god, who's going to get nerfed this week when the preamble drops.
Yeah.
It's,
for sure.
We have no idea what's coming.
All right, Mike, what do you want to see in the next 2 weeks?
More tooting. I want I feel like a bunch of classes still need to be looked at. That's the big thing is just lots of tweaking.
Yeah, Steve.
Get me last.
I was gonna say, and I guess just adding on just more communication.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with what you and James said. More communication, just communication in general about just the next 2 weeks. Like, we got 2.5 weeks until launch. Just give us an idea of what's coming these next 2 weeks, like, and then just please give us a little bit more tank threat. Just give us a hidden modifier or something. Here's the thing: unless you're gonna get that hidden modifier for tanks, because I just thought of this, you're gonna get that hidden modifier once raid launches, because you're still gonna have your neck, which gives you the 45% modifier.
You won't have your neck.
You won't?
Your neck
will replace that?
No, your neck deactivates the moment you step foot into Shadowlands. You lose all your essences.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you don't have it.
Okay,
Like, that has been my big freaking selling point on give tanks hidden threat modifiers. We've had them the entire time. We got them like the entire time, and then they're like, okay, here's your neck. When you start putting shit in the forge, you get 15% per essence. And now all of a sudden they're just like, we're taking your essences away. Bye-bye threat modifier. Every single one of those.
I thought that still worked until you replaced it. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Nope. Essences and Azeroth armor are going off the moment.
So it's literally just a stat piece of gear. Then you're just getting the stats from it.
Correct. Okay. And again, it's the moment you step foot in the Shadowlands, that 15% threat.
As soon as you cross like that threshold.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, and that's kind of here's what I would like to see in the next 2 weeks. I kind of want a roadmap, right? I want to see a roadmap come out of, this is what we're still looking at. This is what we're going to work on. I don't even want like, this is the next round of changes. I want, this is the next priority thing that we're doing, right? Okay. So if it's looking at tank threat, like we've heard rumblings through all of the big name tanks that they're looking at tank threat, just tell us that. Be like, hey, we're looking into the tank threat issue. We'll address it in the upcoming week.
Right.
Hey, we'll address it in the next 2 weeks. Give us some kind of roadmap to those fixes. Hey, we know rep paladins, or just literally make it a blue post. Hey, we looked at the numbers for this recent patch. Rep paladins are out of whack. We're going to look into that. Hey, we looked at the analysis for this past patch, and we feel that certain things for Windwalker monks may be in the wrong order. We'll look into it. Same thing with healers. Like, just give us a generalization of every week after these patches, what people are doing, what they're looking for, what they're going to do next.
That'd be nice.
That is something I would like to see them do, because it's not hard for them to take the data, right? It launches on Wednesday. Everybody gets in, starts testing it. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You give us something on Monday to prep us for those 2 days to where, hey, this is what's happening next. That would be such a big help for us as a community. Just give us that time. Give us that information of, this is what we're looking at. This is what we want you to actually test. If you have tank logs and you can see...
Send them.
If you have clips of when you're losing threat and why you're losing threat and this, that, or the other, send them.
Yeah.
If there's... you catch a rep paladin doing 75,000 DPS, send us that log. These are the things we're looking at. If you're noticing that you're not running with as many druid healers, or you're not running with as many monk healers,
right,
send them. Find a druid healer, find a monk healer, and see what they're doing. That's what I want.
Sounds like we all want the same thing. That's kind of crazy. We all literally said the same thing. Yeah, they were doing so well, and then it just kind of stopped. Once it got a little before they announced it was delayed, just for whatever reason. I know they're working hard, and I get it, but it's important,
dude. If we can take, and I mean, this is just whatever, right? If I can sit here and regurgitate and re-pull up all of the things that dropped on that preamble and everything else, and kind of hash it out in 30 minutes, somebody at Blizzard can look over all of the
Yep.
data and details for the past week after that patch dropped, last 5 days, and be like, okay, this is stuff that we're looking at, and put it into a damn blue post.
Oh,
100%.
for sure.
Agree. Yeah.
That, I don't even want like the reason why class changes happened this week. Don't give me this week. Give me what's down the road.
Just give me what's coming up
next, so that I can sit there and be like, this is where they need help. This is how I'm going to
You
help.
can provide input that they may need or want that would help them in what they're doing if we knew what they were trying to do. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, right now it kind of feels kind of lackluster to log into beta because I can sit there and give them responses and feedback till I'm blue in the face, but half the time I don't think they're listening to it.
No, we're not. Literally unpaid, free testers for them. They don't have to pay. We pay them. You know what I mean? And it's like, use us. We're fine with it. We're here to help.
Just listen to the people that are testing their game.
Yeah.
Like,
take advantage of the resources you have.
Like, literally, give me a Tuesday update or a Monday update where they're like, we want you between the days of Thursday and Friday to come back and just submit as many bug reports as you can, and we're going to hash them out next week.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk raid testing. Shall we?
Sure.
So we got raid testing coming up tomorrow. You guys gonna do testing tomorrow?
I think I'm gonna be at work.
I didn't see what they normally, isn't it like 4?
I think it's like
4 to 7.
4.
What time?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 Eastern.
Yeah, I'm still at work, so I will not be able to. Unfortunately, it's like middle of it? It's like 1 p.m.
Yeah, 4 Eastern, 5 Eastern, 6 Eastern.
Yeah, it's too early. You're not gonna have many people from over here that have jobs that will be able to test that. Unfortunately,
Mike, are you gonna try to get in and do some testing?
I wouldn't mind checking it out. I am curious. I'm not sure how many pug groups, like alliance-wise, there's going, unless we get something together with the guild. But I'd be curious to check it out and see.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, just looking at what they're testing, I'm not going to say I'm concerned.
Right.
But things we've talked about in the past, Sludge Fist, that's your DPS wall.
Yep.
That is something that is your hard DPS check that everyone's known about. There's not too many mechanics there to kind of fix.
No, I think they're literally on that fight. They're looking at tuning.
That's what I'm wondering, is because they've tuned down so many numbers, if they're going to need to tune his health back. That's where I'm concerned, is that would be the only reason why they're putting that in there.
Or you run into basically the fetid situation to where
it's unkillable.
To where it's literally unkillable until they do a hot fix on it when Mythic Raid drops.
Correct. Council of Blood, I want to say that's the 3 with the dance.
It is.
Which makes me wonder if they did another fucking iteration on the goddamn dance.
Which, I mean, they've tested this, this will be the 4th time now?
5th.
5th time they've tested the same fight, because they just can't seem to get
the dance
to where they want to be it.
They can't get the dance gimmick down. And it's, again, that is a little cause for concern for me. If I'm looking at what they're testing, them testing Sludge Fist is to make sure that the numbers are right and that they're 100% sure that that boss is killable with the stuff that they want. That's why they're testing it on Mythic. Because that fight has 3 mechanics, I think.
Yeah.
The rest is just fucking damage.
Yep.
Can you kill the boss before it kills you?
Stone Legion makes sense why they're testing.
Based on the bleed changes,
yep,
they're going to make sure that Stone Legion is still killable. And they're going to make sure that the tuning is
the bleed. They're also going to make sure that the bleed removals are working.
Correct. The thing with Stone Legion too is because they took down a lot of the numbers again, they need to make sure the ads have the proper amount of health.
True.
So again, this should get, like, these 3 being tested right now should tell you a lot about what they're concerned with. It's, did we tune damage down too much?
Yep.
are our gimmicks good? And
No, they're
Are
never
we-
good.
are we going to be able to actually kill these bosses with the gear we're supposed to have?
Yeah.
Because again, the only real mechanically heavy fights out of that is going to be Stone Legion.
Right.
Blood Council is going to be your normal council fight. You grow as the fight goes on. Sludge Fist isn't a mechanic heavy fight, man.
Sludge Fist is your patchwork DPS check.
What do you need to tune on Sludge
Essentially.
Fist? Nothing.
Health.
It's literally his health or our damage.
One of the two, yeah.
But then the question becomes, if you tune Sludge Fist's health down, does that change his position in the raid?
True.
Because I feel like you can't touch him from where he is right now because he is that wall. But if you start touching his health...
Are these all end of wing bosses?
So
I know Council is like an end of wing
Isn't
boss.
Sludge Fist like the second to last boss or third to last?
Third to last. Sludge
Yeah.
Fist is like the wall. It's like Sludge Fist and then
he would.
Generals.
I feel like Sludge Fist would basically be like your Zakul in a way, like your big kind of beefy. I need a shit ton of damage to get through him, or even maybe like Ashvane, but Ashvane was early, but you know
He definitely seems more of an Ashvane to where it's going to be your DPS check. You know, it's going to be your hard DPS check. Whereas Ashvane was more mechanically inclined, kind of, with
but
dodging
also
and
DPS
driving
check.
circuit. But it's also comes down to a DPS check. And that's where I think they're concerned to where they're testing this again. Because the last time we tested this, they hadn't done really the big nerfs on the conduits yet. Meaning this could be something to where Sludge Fist is, at the moment, unkillable. Or they've tuned it too far down and he's a fucking paperweight.
Right. Because I mean, you were saying you only have the 4 pillars in that fight, and then you wipe.
You have
That's
the
it,
4
essentially?
pillars, and then it's basically a soft enrage.
It'll be interesting to see.
Again, unless they change the room, which may be something they did, where they changed the fucking room.
True. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my
We'll see.
hands.
It just makes you wonder, right? Like we would have already been raiding now, right? Wouldn't
Yeah.
this have been
No.
next week?
yeah.
Next week.
No,
would have
next
been.
week.
Okay. Well, that makes me happy they delayed it if they still weren't sure on the final. These are some big bosses to still need testing for. It's a little weird.
And then I guess Denathrius is still your normal, doesn't get tested because on Mythic, because final boss on Mythic doesn't get tested really.
Correct.
So
Should be
makes
fun.
you wonder.
You're gonna want to waddle. If you've never watched a World First race
Waddle,
before,
waddle?
this one's gonna be good. Yeah, waddle.
Waddle,
Over to
waddle.
Twitch.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna be watching. I don't know if I'm gonna be actually able to do it, but I'll definitely fucking be watching.
yeah, I'll be at work, so I will not be able to watch or do.
We talking about the testing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I really wanted to do it, but the time just didn't work.
Any other big news or info we want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Nope.
You guys already talked about keys, and we've already talked about what we want to see, and we've talked about.
There was one thing I told James we'd come back to Boomy.
Oh yeah, Boomkin.
Because we had the Covenant ability discussion last night while we were running keys about how Convoke Spirits is like a cool idea, but they could have done like so much better with that ability.
It's the concept is great, but it's just so random, and it's a 2-minute cooldown, and it's just like sometimes you press it and you do no damage. And then like other times, like one time I pressed it last night and it launched a full moon at somebody. So it did like an instant 4K burst, which was fun, but it doesn't consistently do that.
But imagine if you had 20% CD on it.
I mean, honestly, like now that I've seen it can just launch a full moon. I mean, the RNG potential there to launch like a couple in one cast that would be pretty fun in PvP.
I think all they really needed to do with it, like we were talking about last night, is just make it so it picks spells from whatever you're spec'd. Like,
Yeah.
That's what it does. It does that.
No,
Also, no, it does that, but it's supposed to prioritize and favor them.
right.
it does. It
It's
does.
But I mean, every time I cast it, it still does thrashes, swipes, rakes. They do no damage because I'm ranged. So it's just I realize that's not the meta covenant anyway for Boomkin, but I just thought it was worth mentioning.
What is it Venthyr? I think you were saying.
I can look. I think it is Venthyr. I'd have to look. I was just on that page too. Come back to me. I'll pull it up real
Alright.
quick.
I thought it would be Maldraxxus for Boomkin.
I think it was two different ones based on
Based on rating
M
or
plus
M+.
and single target. Yeah.
All right. Well, while James finds that, let's just do. Steve, any thoughts on a main at the moment?
Yes. After great talks and deliberations with all my friends, I've decided to completely quit the game cold turkey, never play it again,
Okay.
and go on a hunger
good.
strike until they give us 15% threat.
Okay. Good
all
luck
right.
with that.
But no, I think the way I talked about it this past week, it was Bear first, Monk second, Paladin third. And the reason for that being is just I'm a bear, dude. I don't know.
I mean,
Rocks
bears, honestly, from what I've heard, aren't looking too bad.
I'm
They
just
just need a little bit of love, just a little bit, and they're there.
I'm hoping the FR change comes in. I hope Blizzard is listening
Yeah.
and goes, Frenzied Regen doesn't need to be on a GCD. Yay!
It's gonna be tough to play a druid, man, if you want to do more than one. Because I've pulled up the Boomkin, and I've noticed a trend with druid that is
Oh.
probably gonna frustrate people. So let's go. We got Guardian Druid, best raid covenant. It has Kyrian and Necrolord. Best Mythic Plus. It has Kyrian, Necrolord, and Venthyr.
Oh.
I think that just what it means is like you can play what you're comfortable with.
Well, that's fine, but you go down to Resto, Night Fae, only Night Fae. Okay, we go down to Balance, Necrolord for single, Venthyr for Mythic Plus. Did you want to try to Feral? Because you're gonna need Kyrian for Feral.
Okay.
So have fun.
I mean, that's the thing is I was leaning Kyrian or Maldraxxus anyway. So if it's adaptive swarm for bears,
that's what the Necrolord is, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Maldraxxus. I'm not mad about it. That would be kind of fun to play with. But yeah, that's what I was looking at. I think if they add in tank changes, or to at least threat, it'll make those tanks that maybe do a little bit less damage. You can play them a little bit more in a support role, especially with bears with the empowered bonds. Having the ability to redirect damage off your other tanks or redirect healing from everyone else and give yourself a minor beacon. That seems like a fun little thing to play around.
Yeah.
But again, they just need to fix those couple other things.
Mike, what are we looking at? I know you're still just kind of in the early stages of kind of testing stuff. You still looking at the Paladin Priest?
Bitch, he's testing things right now. What the fuck do you mean? He's on beta currently.
Well, okay, so I'm still looking for Holy Pally main. After last night's keys, I am interested in picking up another spec though.
Okay.
I did it like I know I said before, either Disc Priest or Resto Druid, because both of them in one is raid, one is M plus, are looking pretty strong. So I'm considering rolling one of them and testing it on beta. I'll have to do some more testing to see.
Wow. As like a possible main, or you're talking like as a your first ult that you level after the Pally?
I'll say first ult. I'm for sure still sticking for Pally as main at the start. I I don't know. Like it might have been a gear thing, but like last night's dungeons, I felt like I was really struggling to keep people afloat, which was weird for Holy Paladin.
Dude,
normally,
those dungeons hurt. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
lie. And also realize this is a hard week for dungeons.
Oh yeah,
Because you have your bosses that suck because it's tyrannical, and your trash sucks because it's necrotic and bolstering this week.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
So
rough.
it's,
Yeah,
it's,
it
a,
was
it's a rough week.
God,
It was-
thank
it was
God I
feeling
haven't had
bad.
time to play.
James?
Yeah, main watch. I mean, I announced Frost Mage last week. I put a lot of testing into Warlock this week on both retail and beta, so that's a strong possibility still. We'll see what happens. It's pending changes made to either or both.
I thought you 100% locked in Frost Mage last week. Can we pull
I
that?
did. I just said I did. Yeah, I locked it in. Yeah, so
Frost
it's.
Mage.
But I put a lot of testing into Warlock. I like the Hunter changes. Who doesn't? So that's probably a strong candidate for like first thing I level up next would be probably Hunter or Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do the Pally first come launch. And then I'll do the monk second and just have both of those ready to go for raid, depending on. Pally to me just feels better than monk does, even in Mythic Plus right now. Like,
Well, the only thing I need to learn with Monk, and this may be the issue that you're having too, is using and when to use Celestial Brew.
yeah, that
Because
could
I
be it. Because
feel-
like the playstyle was so different. Like,
Well,
it's
the thing is I feel like I find myself saving it for when I get low as kind of like an oh shit button, and that's not really how it's supposed to be used. I feel like it's one of those
Yeah.
things where using it to kind of keep yourself topped and use that absorb fully, and then probably getting another one as you're starting to get low again would be the best way to do it. But I have to get in the habit of using it, which is why I'm still wanting to try the monk and get into the monk. Because I'm not sleeping on monk. Monk is it's not.
no, I'm not either. Like, I'm just thinking, like, to me, between playing the two, I'm probably gonna play a little bit of both tonight as well. Once we do the big key, let's probably swap back and forth between the two. Is like just having so many CDs on the Pally compared to the monk for Mythic Plus and how hard these dungeons are feels so much better, because I feel like the monk is still the same problem that they ran into with BFA, to where you basically have, I mean, they do have more stuff now than they did in BFA, but you have your fortifying brew, you have your dampen harm, you have your ox summon. Those are really your only three big damage CDs. I mean, then you have Celestial Brew, but like, I just feel like Pally, you have so much more, and you can bring so much more to the group utility wise.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If you're looking for a big beefy tank with a lot of CDs, then you should probably try Bear. Nothing screams beefy with CDs like having 8 stacks of Iron Fur during a 30% health buff window during crack haste window plus
Yeah.
2 stacks plus bark skin on a 48-second CD for 20% DR uptime plus stamp roar.
I know, it's just like, I did dungeons on the monk last night. I guess, Mike, you can put your thoughts into it too, because you healed me on the monk and then the Pally, so.
Well, first I was gonna say, like, from the way you're talking about it, just sounds like you're more in control. That's how I describe it. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I have more control on the Pally. Like, I just have more utility at my exposure. If I start to get low, I can lay on hands. If I start to get low, I can divine shield.
Did you just say you had more utility at your exposure?
At my disposal, sorry.
I'm sorry. Come on, bruh.
So, Yeah.
But yeah, from a healer perspective, like I felt the difference too. Like it felt way easier to heal you on the on the paladin for sure.
So, but that's the thing though, is I think if you, because I'm gonna imagine you're playing monk like I'm playing monk, where you're saving that celestial brews and no shit. Though.
I'm still
If you
kind of
start-
stuck in the old monk play style to where like I'm.
It's hard to break that.
hard to break that habit. Is like because I'm still kind of in that habit of like basically drinking a purifying like it's iron skin brew because it's so ingrained in me with how I play monk. Like it feels really weird not to have to press that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You may want to give it more time, and you may want to play monk a little bit more. And it's gonna sound really weird. A little bit more reckless with your celestial brew.
Okay.
And having it
I'll
be
try it and see.
more uptime, even if it's not the most efficient celestial brew.
Right. Yeah. We'll give it a go and see.
But I say this because I don't know if people are actually in chat or not, and no one's answering me. If you have questions, put them into chat or Discord because we're almost wrapping up with topics for the night.
Yep. Kind of a short, sweet episode.
Short and sweet. It's been an hour and 50 minutes, dude.
Oh, has it really? Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, short and sweet. By the way, by the time we're done, this is going to be a 2-hour.
You said it was two hours
God
and 15.
Dang.
An hour and 50.
Oh,
An
an
hour
hour short for us.
Dude, we're gonna be done at 2:05. What the fuck?
No,
do you...
an hour 50, James. 50,
oh,
not 15.
50. I'm sorry. Okay.
Did not feel like 2 hours. I felt like Okay.
Apparently, our chat says we need more hours.
Too short. Need more. Look, we're probably gonna do a special episode, which we'll get to here shortly.
Maybe a sleep stream. You can watch a sleep
stream. Sleep
Neri as a special guest.
Ooh.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
Sleep
Was
stream.
that a question or was that like a breaking news that we didn't even know about? Or?
No, you said sleep stream.
He's
it was okay.
That was a jab.
It was a joke.
That was a jab. That was a James. That was a jab. Do you get it?
All right.
Sleep stream, and he's invited.
Does anybody have a beverage of the week this week?
James,
I do not.
James, it was a joke.
I've got
James
something. Well, let's wait. I think we're still on this. I think it was a joke, James.
James, it was a joke.
Yeah, I don't know where. Was it a joke?
Boomers, am I right?
Oh. I got like 1 to 2 more good years in me. Then you're gonna have to retire me. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go. I've got this peas lemon tea. It's very good. It's very nice. Anyone who watches me knows I love the peas teas, so it's very good.
Dude, I just tried the peas tea for the first time like a couple of weeks ago. I like them.
Yeah, they're very good. They're low in sugar too.
I used to get them at the gas station when I'd fill up a tank. They're really good tea.
Yeah, they're only $1.
Like compare.
They're like Arizona.
I was gonna say
they come in the bottle
I equate them to the Arizonas, but they are better than the Arizonas because they're not made with the high fructose corn syrup, and Arizonas are. So, James, you got anything this week? I do not. I have body armor this week, so nothing special.
I thought you were gonna say body odor. I have a weird drink that I saw at the dollar store, so I bought it. It's Crush. It's not tea. I couldn't get tea. It was Halloween, and I was getting candy, so I was like, okay.
Orange.
So I got a Crush. No, Crush Soda Blue Raspberry Sour Patch Kids. I've never heard of it before. Yes, it was sour and sweet. It had a lot of food dye in it as well.
Okay.
So I can't recommend it for that reason. But the taste was pretty good.
So, speaking of that, I had something this morning. I don't have the can anymore, but I picked up a C4 at Sheetz this morning, one of the C4s to go, and it was called Sour Batch Bros.
Okay.
Literally tasted like a Sour Patch Kid.
Nice. They've really perfected that artificial flavor, haven't they?
Straight up tasted like a Sour Patch Kid. It had like that sourness when it first hit, and then it was like really sweet, but it didn't have any artificial color or anything in it. But yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Are there any questions in Discord? I don't see any in chat.
We got no questions in Discord, no questions in chat. Chat interaction this week is fucking terrible.
All right, so I know I talked to Steve and James, Mike.
Mhm.
Thoughts on doing a
Just
special?
tell them to look at the thing. Don't even link
look
it.
at the chat. Look in the Discord channel. I mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do it? Okay. So we're gonna do a special podcast episode. We're gonna get together and plan some stuff for it. But basically, we're gonna do it the hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, kind of leading up to actual launch of Shadowlands. Basically, that time when we're all just sitting around, we're logged in early so you don't hit the initial queues. Basically, not doing shit, sitting around in Stormwind, just waiting for quests to pop. So we're gonna do just a special kind of daytime launch episode of the podcast and have some stuff going on. So
probably some reaction Andes to trailers. We can watch the old Afterlife stuff. We can watch the cinematic stuff.
Yeah, just like a big special launch.
Talk about what's going on to it. I would say we maybe want to do an hour and a half to 2 hours because we can't do anything short.
That would be fine too.
And honestly, queue times that day is probably going to be fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
I know. I know with BFA launch, Storm Rage ended up going down for like, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 hours, something like that.
And I don't know how hard this would be, but it's something we can talk about too behind closed doors. Is maybe pull some special guests in, talk to some people for chunks of time, and see how it goes.
Yep.
Possible LJ
stuff.
No LJ. We're definitely not bringing LJ on.
Nope. Yep. I got some ideas and stuff too. So we'll
James
we'll
is
see.
giving away a
Brontosaur.
Brontosaur. Mike is giving away a Brontosaur.
Brutosaur?
Yeah. We're gonna go back in time and give those away.
But yeah,
right?
So we'll have some more information to come out on that, but just plan. We'll put out the actual times and stuff we're gonna do it that day, but it was basically just a thought. Basically, it was just a thought to where, like, we're either going to be logged in, just sitting in Stormwind, not doing anything to make sure we don't get logged out. B, we're going to end up sitting in a queue, not doing anything while we wait for the queue. So, might as well just have some fun. And like Steve said, we can watch, like, all the trailers and Afterlife stuff. And
we'll have a little tailgating party in Stormwind, dude.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, so it'll be a good time.
Food and drinks with the boys.
Broth, spears.
Yep.
Spree and Tundra.
So it'll be fun. But yeah, thank you guys.
Wow.
All right, we'll do our little outros. Steve.
Unbelievable. I'm there on something and I'm down. I think that's how it worked. I was down there on something else. Was I right?
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm gonna have the Shadowlands launch birthday stream. Gonna probably be streaming in between now and then with some more Phasmophobia shit. Probably gonna be doing a little bit of more WoW stuff, depending if my life stops becoming a living nightmare. It's just depending. I don't know anymore. That's me. Move on to the next person. I miss every single time.
Mike.
Oh man, Steve, we got a lot of like October, November birthdays, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm available on Twitch. I stream Monday. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Most people see me by there. I've been doing a lot of beta testing, and speaking of birthdays, mine's on Saturday, so I'm gonna be playing a bunch of nostalgia games on Saturday. I don't know if we'll play much WoW. We'll see, but you can find me on Twitter. It's Creation to Face because I lost my D. Other than that, I hope to see you guys around. Thanks for watching.
All right, James with the updated Twitter.
Really? Oh, it's Twitter at the Ranger44. Twitch, you can catch me streaming never at Ranger44 on Twitch.
You
been
can
doing
catch
a
him
lot
on
of
our
Discord
streams, though.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Discord streaming. You know, if you want to hop by and say hi at the Aspire Guild Discord, that's fine too. Yeah.
Cam when? Question mark.
Cam when? Blizzard soon.
Blizzard soon. So, all right, so never.
When he decides to stream on Twitch. Kappa.
All right. Hey, I'm Cody. Y'all know me. All my social stuff is up here and down there. We're gonna be doing lots of Assassin's Creed stuff over the next couple days and week. Probably not gonna do a whole lot of WoW stuff on stream. Because I gotta finish up Origins for Assassin's Creed and get through Odyssey by Tuesday. So we're gonna be doing lots of Assassin's Creed. And yeah, then we got Shadowlands launch, and I'm also starting to put together Shadowlands dungeon guides, which are going to be going up on YouTube before launch.
Heck
so
yeah, dude.
lots
Wizard?
of good stuff coming. But yeah, we'll flip back to this, and thank you all for tuning in once again. As always, it's always a pleasure. We will see you guys next week, and this will be up on YouTube within the next day or two.
He's gonna forget.
And we're gonna host someone.
He almost forgot. Are we still on the internet? Are we still live?
Hang on, I'm gonna stay in chat, guys.
What do you mean? What did you